Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Billabong Furnace Carbon winter wetsuit for 2015 into 2016 winter. So Billabong really upped their game over the last few years in my opinion, and they've come out with a range of suits this year for this winter that are among some of the best on the market and some of the most innovative as well in terms of the technology that they're incorporating. So the Billabong Furnace Carbon is pretty much the top-end wetsuit. It is the flagship wetsuit for Billabong this year, and there's a few different things going on, but the primary selling point or unique selling point is the entry system and some of the little boa closure system that you've got going on here, which looks like a little lantern, a little torch. It's actually just the tightening system there, which I'll walk you through in a second. But the Furnace Carbon then, it's basically all about ultimate flexibility in a winter wetsuit, so really lightweight, super stretchy foam the whole way through the suit, but also combined with a fantastic warmth. So you've got a T3 carbon lining throughout the entire suit, which when we turn the suit inside out you'll have a little look at, and it's extremely warm thermal lining polypro. So starting with the actual look of the suit then, one of the key things about the suit as well is zip free, so they've gone down the zipperless route with this particular suit to promote flexibility, get rid of the zip closure system. Any chance of it breaking, any chance of it leaking is all gone. You've got a really effective zip free closure system, and that promotes more flexibility as well. So it's a zipperless entry system, which we'll show you through in a second. Minimal panelling on the suit, so the suit is pretty much just one big piece of neoprene on the top here leading into the chest panel. And it's around the back it's very similar as well. You've got that sort of zigzag effect across here, and that just promotes the stretch through the lumbar, through the top of the suit, no restriction, one big piece of neoprene through the bum area and around the bottom, giving it loads and loads of flexibility and no restriction. So great looking wetsuit. The actual neoprene itself is incredibly lightweight and soft. It's the zero foam, which is basically Billabong's top end neoprene, which contains loads of air inside the rubber, which gives you more flexibility, more stretch, it's quicker to dry, and it insulates you better as well, because all those little bubbles inside the foam trap warm air and insulate you better. It's a 5'4" as well, so you've got a bit more thickness on the arm. 4mm on the arm is going to keep you nice and warm, but that combined with a really lightweight foam, it should still feel fantastic and very flexible. Okay, the suit itself then, the actual seams is a really key point to observe. They are power seams, so that have lots of different names with all the different manufacturers, but this is basically the welded seam on the outside. So it's glued together, the suit, and then welded on the outside and through the inside as well with that rubber taping. So it's stitch free, giving you loads of flexibility, but also stopping any water coming in through the seam as well. So it's a nifty bit of technology there. You've got some of this liquid taping around the outside of the lower cuff as well. That just creates a better bond with your glove, stop any water coming in through your glove, and it's all just thought about to be worn in conjunction with gloves and boots and that kind of thing. Okay. One thing that's worth noting with the Billabong suits as well, you've got that single line collar, which is extremely comfortable, and it's dipped around the Adam's apple as well, so it's just really comfortable collar on these wetsuits. The only downside with them is that perhaps they are a little bit soft. So if you come off at speed, they are a bit more prone to flush through than say the double-lined collars that you get with some O'Neill suits and Rip Curl suits and that kind of thing. But in terms of comfort, it's a good fit. It will feel fantastic. And if you're wearing it with a hood, then it wouldn't be an issue anyway. Around the back of the wetsuit, you can see they've got that zigzag with the power seam welding there, and that's just basically just to promote flexibility through the lumbar, so there's no restriction there, and through the top of the wetsuit as well. You can see a little hole there. That's the drain hole, which is part of the entry system. Some more of the boring stuff then, you've got the Duraflex knee pads, which are always good with Billabong because they're kind of puffed out to lock in the knee. It feels really good when you actually get it on. Locks your knee into the right place. Around the back of the suit, you've even got like an embossing to create a better movement and bend through the back of the suit. Little things like that, just to expect with the top end wetsuit. And then again, around the lower part of the suit, you can see that thickness, which is the 5mm. So a nice good chunky 5mm there, and you get a hint of that lining that's going on the inside, and again you get that liquid taping on the inside of the ankle just to get a better bond between the wetsuit and the boot that you're wearing if you're wearing it in winter. Okay, so onto the sort of closure system then. So the zip-free entry system is quite straightforward to get on. It's very much like a chest zip, but without having the zip across there so you can pull the flap back. Basically the neoprene is so stretchy that it just comes up and over your head like this. Okay, so essentially you're getting in here. The thing that's different with the Billabong suit, I'll come a bit closer, you open up nice and wide here, you get in through the top here. But what with the Billabong suit, you also have an additional sort of panel to navigate here, which goes up and over your head from the front. So essentially you're getting in here, okay, so you can see that. You're getting in here, and then as you're sort of pulling the suit, the best way to do it really would be to reach inside the wetsuit, turn it inside out down to the waist, pull it on up to your waist and then up and over your body. Then you get to this section, and basically you are then pulling this piece up and over your head that way, which is the dry max entry, and that goes around the back like that. So then you're in there, and then you're pulling this piece up and over your head, which is the actual sort of chest piece. So essentially what is happening is the chest or the entry system is sewn over the top of the actual inside of the wetsuit, which is that little collar that you pull up and over. And so as you pull that sort of collar up and over you, that stops any water that comes in through the suit going into the actual wetsuit. It meets that sort of little collar and then gets flushed out through the drain hole, which we showed you earlier, and through the bottom of the sort of drain hole here you can see sort of 3 little holes here. So basically the chest system never holds any water, and it just flushes out. And that really should stop any flush throughs, because a little bit tricky to get in and out of, that's the downside of it. But if you use that technique where you pull it inside out down to the waist, then up and over your body, it'll be a bit tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad at all. And then comes the cool bit of technology which Billabong are using on a few of their different items. So this wetsuit, and you also got it on the boot, which is really cool. Sort of this technology, the BOA technology, has been sort of used a lot with the snowboarding products for quite a few years, but now they're using it just to sort of basically fasten or tighten the chest zip. So once you've got it on up and over your head, you then twist this, and you can see that sort of wire basically, which runs through the inside of the chest piece here, just tightens it up around your shoulder to create a really good bond and stop any flush throughs coming from here. So it's all designed to promote minimal flush throughs, minimal water entering into the wetsuit. So you tighten that up, and then when you want to take it off, you just pop it out and that will loosen like that. So it's kind of cool. Then push it back in, tighten it up. Now this stuff is really robust. Obviously being used in snowboarding, it's got to be really durable. So you've got a year's warranty on it anyway, but that should last a long time. And it's kind of a cool little bit of technology, maybe a bit gimmicky, but it is kind of cool just to sort of tighten up. It really grips the whole wetsuit in and really locks you in, so it's kind of a cool feature really. So that's the zip-free system. It's a little bit tricky, as I say, to get on and off, but once you've actually got the suit on and you tighten up the little boa thing, it feels really fantastic when the wetsuit's on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it inside out for you. I'll actually do that while you're watching, but bear with me, just because you can then see the sort of mechanism of the zip-free system. If you can imagine that, what we would be doing, sort of when you're actually getting in the wetsuit, you're opening it up, you bring the chest pad, you get the sort of neck entry system there forward, and you're reaching in down to the hip and pulling it inside out down to the waist. Okay, and what that allows you to do is then slip it on like a pair of trousers, and then you're into the suit. It's just up and over your body. Make it sound really easy. It's not too bad, and as long as you've got a degree of flexibility, then yeah, it shouldn't find it too hard to get in and out of the wetsuit. Okay, but what I'm going to do is fully turn it inside out for you, so you can see what's going on the inside, and have a little look. So, really nice little finishes with this wetsuit, all around the cuffs, just having that liquid taping, and then everything's thought about really. And you've got that liquid taping running the whole way through the upper part of the suit there, and then through the lower part of the body, because that liquid tape is not very good at bonding with that sort of furry material. They just go with a flat tape, and that's a flat super stretch tape. And then you've got the Samurai Carbon, the T3 carbon, running the whole way through the suit. And basically, what that is like a sort of furry carpety material, much like the Rip Curl flash dry lining. Back chromed polychrome, which just creates a fluffy material, which means that it dries really quickly. Okay, so what happens is it draws the moisture out of the material, and then those fibres, because they're non-absorbent, basically dry really, really quickly. And then you've got all these little sort of engravings into the actual lining itself, which help channel the water out of the suit. Okay, so any water that you do get in the suit gets wicked away from your body and then dries out quickly. So this suit again should dry out on the inside within about sort of 15 minutes. Okay, so that's everything pretty much going on with the furnace, carbon furnace Billabong wetsuit. Great looking wetsuit. I've tried one on, it feels fantastic, and you've got the little boa thing, which is kind of a cool little thing, and definitely a recommendation and a great wetsuit from Billabong for this year.